me, Predacons! I present you with that which will tip the balance of power in the battle against the Maximals. I present you my lieutenant, Rat Trap, with the added power of Black Arachnia, who was retrieved by my skill, and Rat Trap, who has sworn personal fealty to me. We shall defeat the Maximals, but my gift...
Welcome back to the Tydirium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to come at you with the Metagate G-04 Air King. This is a new company, and it's their take on a sort of G1-esque Terrorsaur. Now, this figure is a pretty good figure overall. There are some things they did well, some things that I don't really care for so much in this figure. Maybe they can improve on in future figures, but overall, I like this guy. Now, I did get this at Show Z. You can get yours there too. I'll have a link down below where you can get yours. But let's go ahead and get into taking a look at Metagate. This is my first time handling a figure from this company. Coming up. Taking a quick look at the packaging, all it has is artwork, basically on the front here, from what makes it look very, very G1-esque. You don't see product pictures anywhere on this, and on the back, just some sky that's there. You 15 and above, matters needing attention. Product contains very small parts, and they might be sharp. All right, so let's take a quick look at this guy, then we'll look at his accessories. I do think that he is a very nice looking figure, very nice looking representation of Terrorsaur, and I have to say overall he's very clean, has very little kibble on him for what he does and how crazy the transformation is, what he turns into. Very little kibble, lots of detail on them, probably more than the animation. So with that, he looks really good overall. You can see kind of like the scaliness to it, which, you know, that's kind of one of those things. Do you want it to look real world like this, or do you want it to look super hyper-tuned? Now, this does not look hyper-tuned, but it does look inspired by the cartoon. But my one complaint aesthetically is I would have liked them a little bit brighter red. This is more of a burgundy, but I'm actually forgiving of that because it's kind of a metallic paint to it. It's got a nice metallic shine and sheen to it, so I just really like that. So if you look at the picture, of course, that's more like what the cartoon looked like, and this is more of what they did. It looks more like a real world. So just kind of comparing it to a cartoon and seeing that, yes, it looks good. I like it. Getting into just some articulation, looking at a few other things and paint apps all at the same time. His head does turn side to side. It's on a ball joint, so it does all of that good stuff. And then the shoulder out to here. Now, with the transformation, the shoulder does kind of have a little bit more give to it, and you can do a little bit more because of the transformation. And then you do have the 360. It's a nice ratcheted to it, and then you have a pretty good butterfly. So, like he was deciding to wield a sword or something, it would work fantastic on him. You do have a 90 at the elbow, and you do have the bicep swivel, so you got all that good stuff. It is a double jointed elbow, so yeah, more than a 90. Good deal. You do have in and out with the hand because of the transformation, and you do have nothing else with the hand, in and out. The thumb is on an up and down, which is kind of strange. Instead of going in and out or a ball joint, it goes up and down, so that is one strange part to this. And then instead of typewriter fingers, he just has all of it pinned. All four of the other fingers are pinned, but it's two joints, pinned at two joints. I can live with that. It's okay, I guess. Then waist swivel, and then ab crunch. He does have an ab crunch. Now, this does kind of like to fall apart on me here when I move him around a lot. This kind of waist piece comes out, probably just because of the transformation, because like you do pop this up and all that with the transformation, so it doesn't sit down as well when you're moving around. But once you have it all set up and displayed, it's no problem at all. It's pretty solid. It's just the moving around and articulating and stuff that's going to come out. And then we have up to here and then back to here. Just a lot of nice detail, lots of silver, all that kind of stuff. It looks fantastic in there. And then you do have kind of universal at the thigh and ratcheted out, and so that's not going anywhere. That's really good hardware in there. And then the knee goes well past the 90, so that's probably I don't really see 2 joints, but it's well past the 90 way that's engineered there. And then going down to this nice cold die cast lower legs that we have here. We have the foot going up and down, all that kind of stuff. So really decent articulation and definitely really good looking figure. So getting into his accessories, he does have this flight stand and it does work really well for him. Probably not the best in the bot mode. It should be a little taller. It would be nice if you'd had one more accessory to clip on to this flight stand and double the height. That would have been pretty awesome in my opinion. But that's not the way it is. So anyhow, he does look good on his flight stand there. It's better for the alt mode. And again, even in the alt mode, I would have liked it a little bit taller. But it's nice that they included it. Now, once he holds on there okay. I mean, there's really no chance of him coming off. And then he can stand really solid on his own. But the cool part about this is you do get these storage down here. And I'm going to see if we can zoom in on those faces. And there's his other 2 faces, which, okay, so they're kind of shrunken in. I'm not going to say what they look like. They look like, okay, he's got some extracurricular activities that shrunk his face in there. So, crazy looking face that's going on right there. And I don't know if you'd call that animation accurate or not, but that's weird. I did swap one out already, and I put on his face the smirk. If you can see that he's got like a smirk, I think that's the coolest one. All you really do is you pop it off. So you move his head up and then you pop it off. It's harder to pop off than it looks because of the indentation at the top right here with his head. So you just got to kind of work on it. Maybe if you use a tool, I just used my finger and a lot of time and a lot of... Okay, so also with these guns here, if you can see it, there's tabs underneath here and then there's what looks like detail on the gun, but it's actually part of that detail is a little section, like there's a rectangular spot right here, and then on the bigger one there's just a straight up rectangular spot, and those just tab in there. So that's pretty cool. I like that integration and how they did that. Let's see how these clip into the hands, and of course the hands are going to have the usual masterpiece slot there, and then the tab, and let's see, tabs in fine. I guess I should have pre-done the hands. Pre-done the hands. Okay, there we go. That works. And I'll go ahead and get the other one in the other hand. Okay, so he holds his weapons really well, and his hands with that all pinned fingers, they do work well, although it's kind of going backwards design-wise than what's going on these days usually. Still, it looks pretty good. It works really well, and this guy does pose really well. He holds a pose just like extremely well. Very solid figure, aside from the waist piece. As for these shoulder cannons he has here, so they do just tab in, and they don't really fit on the stand so much because they're a little too thick, I guess. They may get protrude just a little bit, so it's not really something, but I think the reason for that is because of the fact you can store these in both modes, so display in both modes. So showing you what I like to do, I like to kind of make it go straight up and down like so, and then plug it in to the tab right there, and then you can push it down. That's, I think, the easiest way to install these guys, and you can have them going forward or at an angle or anything like that you want to do with them. Really good. Pretty cool. All right, getting into some comparisons. This is kind of how he scales with Masterpiece G1, and no, Beast Wars is not G1. Here he is next to G1 Inferno and G1 Megatron, which, well, vintage 90s if you consider that G1 anyway. Basically, I literally pieced both of these together for pretty cheap. Oh, years ago, just for fun. But he is definitely bigger than that scale. He's into the Masterpiece scale. He's definitely bigger than what's going on with the mainline. Here he is next to Dinobot and Optimus Optimal Optimus, whatever. And it'll be interesting to see how Hasbro transforms this with an automatic transformation thing. That would be interesting too. But that's how he scales. These are true Masterpiece. Here he is with Megs in Dino mode. I got a lot more coming at you here. And next to Shang Tsung, the JX version, the phenomenal red dragon that they put out, and Takara's masterpiece Black Arachnia. Here he is next to a couple of trans art options. This is the Transmutate, which is huge. Another big figure, really cool. And then this is Transart's Rat Trap, small figure. I literally just pulled him out of the box, so I don't even know if he's transformed right or anything. I haven't messed with it at all. I just thought it'd be cool to do a comparison. And compared to the Hasbro offerings, as you've probably noticed, I focus more on third party and Masterpiece, Legends, that kind of stuff. But Hasbro doesn't even let you see it anymore, so can't really compare. But that's why I kind of like the retro packaging. One thing I want to point out, though, the reason I pulled these out is because I kind of like the brighter red on these a little bit more than this. I wonder if we're going to get a repaint in a brighter red. All right, now for the transformation, we are going to do some fun stuff here, and we're going to rotate his hands and prepare his hands. A little bit of rotation, close them all up, and put them into here. And the same thing on the other side. Going to pull that out, and we are going to sort of close his hand up and rotate it around, and then tuck it away up here as best we can. Then we're going to come around here to these shoulders. We're going to lift the shoulder up, flip it around, and there's going to be, let's go ahead and rotate this down too, but we're going to need to rotate this down and then rotate this around to where we have a notch to accept the shoulder piece. And that's that, more or less. So let's go ahead and we can do it in a little bit different order here. So we're gonna make sure the elbow's straight, rotate this down, flip this around to the notch, and then rotate this around and let it accept that piece. So fold this out. So this is the beginning of two-part wings. The arms and legs, more or less, they will do a lot. They fold into the wings. Let's go ahead and pull this out here and get this up in the air, get this going. So this is all going to start forming the top part, and then we're going to grab onto the back part of his head, which it's going to be in there pretty tight. And then we're going to fold it up, and now it's going to eventually go back here through this. But we have to do a lot of like connecting first, and then we're going to push it through there. So next we're going to fold up this here. And so we're going to fold this piece here down. So I'm starting to wonder, yeah, you have to do it right now. And then we're going to fold this around into here. So got that going on. Same thing over here. Fold this around into here. And we're going to pull out the wings. Fold up the top pieces of said wings. And then we're going to unfurl all of this crazy nonsense. And then we're going to flip it around. And then try to make this as straight and flat as you can as you're going through there. And there's going to be opportunity here in just a bit. Well, I guess closer to the end, that we have to make sure everything is exactly aligned just right to match up. There's really no way to know exactly right now how that's going to look, how that's going to be perfect and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we're here. Then we're going to flip this around to the 180 to the back. And let's lift this up a little bit more so we got the clearance. And then this is going to come down, and then this is going to go like so. And we have to do the legs. Getting down here on the legs, I do want to start by opening this back piece. And then the front one's kind of hard. So what you want to do is start rotating down the leg and pull on this at the same time. It's going to push it out. This little notch there just sort of pushes that out. And that's kind of cool. And then we have to get down here to the feet. And then the feet are, I think from this angle it's easiest to see, but you're going to open this and fold it around and then tab it in. and bump the camera at the same time. And then this is kind of cool. There's like a little toe right here, and you can push on it to bring this other piece out. And then you're going to fold it up into this crevice like so, and then let's make sure I got it all at the right angles there. Now this butt piece is going to come out, and basically it's going to accept parts of this this leg here. So we got to get this lined up. Pull this piece here down to kind of cover up some of this, and then we are going in the right direction here. Now you're going to want to slide this down so that it's sort of in the right direction. We're going to move over to the other leg and knock it out with the same kind of fashion, and open this, pull back on this whole slot. It helps move that open. And then here we are with this. Then we need to, and in all reality, I did sort of untab those other ones already on the first foot, because this tab's in pretty tight. And then come up here, this tab needs to go in. And then use this little toe piece to push out. And there's that. And then we're going to kind of get this all going. It's starting to look a little, it can start looking a little confusing, but you just know you're building a wing here, and everything's got a place to go. So there we go. And then we're going to have to keep everything aligned. All right, so let's connect these lower part of the belly. Let's get all of this adjusted to where it's kind of looking like this. And then you're going to fold it up and tab into here. Now all this is going to tab in, so get it aligned just right. And get all of this tabbed in. Like so. So there's a tab here and a slot right there. And then this is all going to tab in like so. We're going to be adjusting this, making sure that this goes up into the next part of the wings here. So the top wings are the lower part, and the legs are going to be the top part. So we're going to be folding this up. And at this point, we're going to push the head through, and you want to make sure that you do have the clearance for the back of the head tab, which is strange, but they got to have the clearance however they can have the clearance, so that's how they did it. Is it all going to clear? And then we're going to start tabbing this bad boy together and make sure everything is clearing and lining up just right. We're going to pull these tabs up just a bit. And now, I was curious, though, because we have a neck issue, and at this point, I was wondering if there was a way to pass the neck piece past all of this before we get into all of that. One of the biggest problems that people are having with this transformation is having to flex this over it, but I don't know if that was exactly how it was designed. But, I mean, I'm looking at instructions and stuff, too, but I'm thinking that you could just, at this point here, kind of untab some stuff and then fold it in. It doesn't quite feel right, but it looks like it might work. And then you could fold the neck over without having to stress it. And so let me see if I can get that accomplished here. And I think I can. Well, I think I had it off camera a minute ago, but we'll see if I can do it. But it might not line up everything just right. I might be creating one solution and creating a few problems at the same time, because you are supposed to, but then we have to come through here and make sure all this tabs in. So we're kind of retroactively, but I've been looking at this transformation thinking there's got to be a way to do it without that craziness going on in there, and I think we found it, possibly. We've got to go through and tighten up all of this other stuff on here. I keep it in front of me. He's a pretty decent sized bird, to tell you the truth. pull this out, tab all this in. So this is a little bit outside of the norm, but I think flexing that neck is really, really scary, and there had to be a way to do it without stressing and flexing that neck. And then we tab all this stuff in as we go, all the way through here, and then we flip these around. And then there's slots in here, tabs right here to tab that in. And straighten out the legs, and we got more to do with the legs there, but yeah, that's we might be able to pull that off. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. So I'm gonna go through and tighten up all this stuff and see if I can get everything tabbed in just right. If not, I'm gonna refilm it. But I didn't want to flex it that much. So here he is in his alt mode, and I was having a little trouble with this not tabbing in. The head just has to be situated just right. And then there are these pieces here that are slightly a little bit adjustable that you want to adjust and make sure that it's fitting just right so it looks better. And you have him in his bird mode, his pterodactyl, whatever. I'm sure there's I'm gonna be corrected in the comments, but anyway, looks really cool overall. He does have some paint apps along the back of him right there, and then little duck looking feet going on, and then he's got, so I believe this is all plastic molded, or is it painted? It does feel like it's painted. And then he's got a tongue in there, and then he's got articulation on the jaw and on the tongue, and you can see his beady little eyes. He's peeping at you, and so pretty cool. I was able to transform it without bending this, flexing this, and so with that, it literally all the tabs, that's cool, all the tabs just tab right in as you pop it in place. I say that, and then I got this little slide here that's not quite lined up just right. But yeah, once you get it kind of in place, it all sort of tabs in place. It kind of works. The wings are a little fiddly with just kind of rotating it to get the exactly the right angle on everything, because it is kind of angled. And so that's kind of cool, though. It does work, looks good, works, gets the job done. And so with that, we're going to go into a couple of things that you can do with it. So we're talking about options, and options are good. Okay, so first off, we do have these cannons, his cannons, and you have right back here, there's slots. Can you see the slots? They're right there and right there. And so just like I like to do, you can plug it in and push it like so, and it holds it nice and tight, which I like it tight. I'm not gonna lie, I like it in there nice and tight. So I don't want them falling out. You don't want it falling out. There you go. So push it in. Now rotate. The reason I'm rotating is because I already plugged them in the bottom, which you're gonna have to rotate or plug them in the bottom. But there it is. That's the look of it, and that looks nice. I think it looks pretty good. You know, it's like swoosh. Looks good. Kind of reminds me of Swoop. Oh, I really need to bring a Swoop comparison, but I did not. So the other thing you can do is put them on the bottom, and we're gonna pull them off the stand here, and we're gonna see him stand on his own. We'll do that in a minute. There's tabs, not those tabs, these tabs. So like I showed earlier when putting them in, you're just gonna, I like to put it in like this and then rotate it, and there it is. And so then we do the other one. So there we go, we've got both of them, and just kind of trying to wiggly waggly and make sure that the wings are still all aligned just right. Okay, now down in the feet, you can kind of make the feet into feet. You can see that, and get the heel sprawl there. You can make them stand in this mode, so let's go ahead and get him to stand in this mode, and then put his head down, and then he can kind of fold in these wing tips. If you got it just right, fold in the wing tips, and then have him stand there, and that's a nice looking look for him. And he can walk around like he does in the show. I got a lot of stuff to say, and none of it is smart. So I would almost say he's almost a Starscream in it, but he's not really. He is, but he's not really a Starscream in it. It's definitely not as loyal as, say, some of the other characters, like For the Royalty Inferno. But So this is an option, and as we usually say, the options are very good to have with these figures. Okay, so here he's next to Masterpiece Megs and Dinobot, looking pretty good. Now, I don't flip my Dinobot back and forth. I actually had a second one I was using in alt mode, but got rid of it. So I just kind of want one of each, and they look pretty good. I do think I'm doing a mixture of displaying some in bot and some in Dino mode. It just depends on the character and just how they fit in my display, I guess. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Here's next to Optimus Primal and the guy you do not want to take a test with, the Cheetor. But these feel right, size-wise, scale-wise. It works. It does work. How does it compare to the original G1, which I haven't opened yet because I don't want to, because I had this one coming? You have the bubble, so you can still sort of see it. This one has like feet on the bottom, and you really can't do that with his feet. His feet don't really go underneath it like that. And you're like, Mike, why don't you open your $11 figure? Well, because I don't want to, but you can see, the color. The color is really kind of, I would like the brighter red, but this still looks really good. Kind of got the metallic, almost transmetal look going to it, even though it's not transmetal, is it? Alright, so this is my look at the Metagate G-04 Air King. I think it is a very solid figure. I don't feel like at any point it was going to break, and even though I try to orchestrate a way of my own transformation at the end there to not stress the plastic, I think it's solid. I didn't really feel like it would break even with that stressing of the plastic, but trying to come up with options, and options are good. So I think that he looks great. I think that he's painted well. I think that he does look like the character, the best version of a Terrorsaur that is on the market, in my opinion, of course. And I'm still not 100% sure how I'm going to display them in alt mode, and that's another thing with the Beast Wars, so I probably will display them in this alt mode. But negatives, I would have liked them a little bit brighter red, match the cartoon a little bit more. Maybe they're going to put another one out later, which will suck, but I'll have to buy that if he's a brighter red and matches the animation a little bit more. And of course, that whole flexing of the neck thing, most people probably won't be able to accomplish my little fix on the transformation, so you don't have to do that, because it is a pain. It was a pain, but aside from that, very solid figure. I really like Metagate, the products. They did use die cast in here. There is paint on this. Never saw any paint chipping anywhere, and I did everything with this. So I'm curious what you guys think about this. Are you interested in this? Do you like Beast Wars, or is it just kind of fun to see another third-party company making something, which is pretty awesome? I did get this at Show Z. They're no longer $99.99. They're not like $109 or $110, and they're on pre-order now instead of in stock. So when you go over there, enter reviewer code TH, capital T, capital H, Sport, Tidarium Hanger, and of course, obviously, more Masterpiece and Legends videos coming your way. I've got like 6 of them coming over the next week and a half or so. So anyway, like and subscribe. Tidarium Hanger out.
Very well, I will spare you in exchange for certain considerations.
All right. What have I got to lose? I'll do whatever you
do
say.
not come free. In return, I shall become your leader! Become your leader!
You sniveling toady! This Maximal isn't your lieutenant. No, he must be a spy.
Megatron is obsolete! All Predacons will swear fealty to me!